Hello, good day. So, welcome to the last video for Unit 1. So, our topic now is going to be about functions and philosophical perspectives on art. So, let's start. So, now we have two types of art. So, kanina, yung sa first video, ang tawag doon ay two kinds of art or two branches of art. So, now we have two types of art. So, wag tayong malilito. Pero they are almost the same. It's just that they have different terms. Okay, so let's have the first one, which is functional art. Okay, so this one is very much like the first one, which is utilitarian art. So, parang parehas lang sila. It's just that magkaiba sila ng terms na ginamit. Ito kasi types, yung kanina kasi branches or kinds. So, now we have functional art. This refers to art that we use in our daily lives, such as tools, architectural structures, roads, bridges, buildings, furnitures, kitchen utensils, coins, bills, dress, weapons, etc. In short, everything that is programmed, everything that is built in order to be utilized. So the objective of these artworks is to be utilized. So kailangan itong mga to ay ginagamit natin sa pang-araw-araw. So halimbawa, merong gumawa ng road or bridge, gumawa ng tulay or ng daanan. Hindi naman nilagay yung daanan or yung bridge para lang design, 'di ba? Hindi tayo gumawa ng tulay para lang gawin na para cute. Hindi naman siya gano'n, okay? The purpose of the bridge or the road is to become a pathway or to be utilized by people and by vehicles, okay? Or to connect to barangays na magkalayo or nasa parang pinaghihiwalay sila ng river. So, kumbaga, kailangan ng bridge para mapakinabangan natin, para magamit natin in order to reach the other side. So, that is an example of functional art. So, these are not made just to become a design or parang an ornament. These are actually made to be used. Okay? So, sila ay ginagamit natin. In short, they are utilized. So, that is functional art. What about the other one? So, ito naman, parang katulad ng fine arts or ng aesthetic arts. So, we call them as indirectly functional art. So, this one refers to the arts that are perceived through the senses, such as fine arts, painting, music, sculpture, dance, literary piece, theatrical performances, and etc. So, in short, everything that is made to become aesthetically pleasing or to be enjoyed by the senses. So, ito ay ginawa para mag-enjoy tayo or masatisfy tayo or malibang tayo. So, it's either entertaining, pleasing, or satisfying for the senses. So, we have indirectly functional art. So, yun din, pwede niyong tandaan, kinds or branches, fine art, utilitarian art. So, types, direct functional art or functional art and indirectly functional art. Pero halos pares din sila or pares din sila ng meaning. It's just that they use different terms. So next we have functions of art. So of course, art is not solely made for just one purpose. Although sometimes we intend it to be used every day or to be aesthetic, it goes beyond that. So there are a lot of functions of art out there. So we are going to discuss the main functions of art. So let's have the first one, which is personal function. So personal function depends on the viewer or the artist. It serves its purpose when it fulfills the personal goals and satisfaction of either the artist or the viewer. So we have to remember, take note again, it fulfills the personal goals and satisfaction of either the artist or the viewer. So it could be done as an expression, or probably we have a certain goal that we want to personally achieve. So that is personal function. Later on, I'm going to provide examples. Number two, we have social function. For social function, it addresses a particular collective interest or makes known of a social issue. So it aims to make the viewers or the audiences aware of the existing social issues out there. Issues such as poverty, hunger, juvenile crime, yun din, crime rate, drug abuse, yung mga social issues na meron tayo sa lipunan. Kapag tinatampok yun ng artwork, ibig sabihin, it serves its social function. Now, what about the third one? So we have the physical function. It serves its function when it satisfies man's physical needs. Okay? Again, physical needs. So ano yung mga example nito? So the first one, uppermost left or upper left na picture, we have here the personal function for the artist, for the part of the artist. Say for example, he wants to express himself. He wants to express his ideas. Therefore, he created this artwork. So that artwork serves its purpose as an expression of the feeling of the artist. Therefore, it satisfies the personal need of the artist, which is to express himself. Now, what about this one? Upper right picture. So the upper right picture shows physical function, addressing the physical needs of people, of men and women. Okay? So makikita natin, ano ba yung mga physical needs na meron tayo? So, syempre, yung mga kailangan natin such as tutulugan, uupuan natin pag napagod tayo, anything na nagpo-provide sa atin ng relief and convenience when it comes to our physical needs. So, hindi siya emotional, mental, more on physical needs. So, halimbawa, upuan. Ang upuan ay isang artwork which is utilitarian in nature. Anong specific na function ang kanyang fino-fulfill? Physical function. Kasi it's made to provide parang relief sa mga taong matagal na nakatayo or walang maupuan. Kaya nga siya ginawa. Okay? So, kapag ang isang object or ang isang artwork ay ginawa to fulfill the physical needs, that is physical function. Huwag kayong malilito between personal function and physical function. Madalas kasi sa mga previous classes ko, they are used interchangeably just because they have the first same letter. Okay? So, para silang letter P, kaya nalilito din yung iba. Pero again, pag personal, this is more on the artist's or the viewer's personal need. More on emotional or achieving the personal goals, personal satisfaction of the artist or the viewer, while the physical function serves people. So marami, hindi siya personal. People's physical needs. So you have to remember that. Now, the bottom picture here is an example of social function. So obviously, it is an artwork. It is a drawing which shows what? A social issue, particularly about what? Corruption. So makikita natin, there is a bulldog. And then, meron yung ngipin niya, wala siyang ngipin, bungal siya, okay? So, kumbaga, ang pinapakita dito is politicians or the government, sometimes they are puro tahol lang, bark, pero wala talaga silang ngipin kasi wala naman silang nakakasuhan, okay? So, kumbaga, puro, puro amba lang. So, ito yung parang pinapakita nila na social issue sa artwork na to. So, for this one, anong klaseng function yung pinapakita nito? Of course, this one is physical function. So it shows what? It shows how man's need will be addressed. So, ano yung need na ina-address ng ng artwork na to, ng utilitarian artwork na to? Syempre, upuan, furniture, sofa. So it's a place of comfort for those people who are tired after a long day of work. So ito yung pwede nilang upuan ngayon so that they could rest. What about this one? So this one is personal function. Why? Harana is an example of personal function simply because it shows the feelings of the artist, and at the same time the viewer or the audience or the other person nararamdaman niya yung pagiging special niya because of the artwork or the art, which is the song or the music na tinutugtog sa kanya. So it serves both of them, their personal needs, personal satisfaction, personal goals and motivations. And lastly, ito ay isang iconic commercial ng DOH. So try to guess what social issue is being shown in this video.
Isang taon pa lang ako, nasundan na ni Toto. Grade 2, 8 taon pa lang, 4 na bata ang inaalagaan. Grade 6, 12 na ako, kasing dami na ng pamilya ko. Sabi mo, pasensya na, walang pera kaya mag-drop out ka. Ina ko, sabi mo kami mahal nyo, ari ko pati kayo nagplano. Sana hindi gutom at nag-aaral pa, alaga't malusog ang buong pamilya.
Ang planadong buhay ay maayos na buhay.
Okay, so this is one of the most iconic commercials out there. So I still remember this commercial up to this day. That's why I decided to include this in the discussion. So it addresses poverty and working children and the lack of family planning of some of the families, which results to, again, yun nga, poverty and dropouts natin sa mga kabataang nag-aaral. So, yun nga, makikita natin, this is an example also of an artwork which shows social function as it addresses and makes known of certain social issues in the society. So, what are the other functions of art? So, syempre, hindi naman tatlo lang yung nag-exist na functions of art. Marami pang ibang functions. So, let's now tackle some of those. We have aesthetic function. So, what is this? So, medyo mahaba yung kanyang definition. But if you would read your module, naka-concise na rin yung explanation doon. It only talks about aesthetic. So, its main function, its main purpose is to become beautiful. As simple as that. Okay, so let's have this. Ito ay isang example ng parang architectural plan wherein we can see parang may pavement. Ito, yan may pavement. Now, kung ang use lang naman niya ay maging pavement or daanan, daanan lang naman siya, bakit kailangan pa siyang i-curve ng ganyan? Ba't hindi na lang straight yung gawin nilang daanan? So, because this one is for aesthetic purposes. So, if you also remember PLV Maysan, di ba? Makikita nyo yung sa PLV Maysan, yung pavement natin doon, yung iba parang ang layo ng iikutan eh. Yung halimbawa mula sa guardhouse papuntang engineering building, 'di ba parang ang layo ng iniikot natin, eh medyo nakakahiya naman tumapak sa grass, parang doon tayo sa pavement dadaan. Eh minsan late na tayo doon sa susunod nating klase, so tatakbuhin niyo na doon sa grass na 'yon. So mapapaisip kayo, bakit kasi yung pavement hindi na lang ginawang diretso? Dahil syempre because of aesthetic purposes. Para medyo maganda siya tignan, especially kapag nasa taas, top view, pag nandun tayo sa library. 'Di ba makikita natin medyo aesthetic yung pavement natin. So yun din, same reasons, it has to be aesthetic. So, another example for aesthetic function, helmet. Yung mga helmet natin, the helmet is created or invented to protect, syempre, yung ulo natin kapag ka nagmomotor. Ngayon, kung yun lang naman yung function niya, okay lang naman siguro na wala na siya masyadong design. Pero yung ibang mga tao, ginagawa pa nilang customized yung kanilang helmet. So, pinapakita nito yung aesthetic function. So, although meron din tayong function to make we have the artworks function to make the person or the wearer safe, okay? Pero dinadagdagan natin ng aesthetic function. Dinadagdagan natin ng pampaganda, kumbaga. So, ibig sabihin, may other function siya aside from keeping us safe. So, addressing what other function? Physical function. Kasi nga, man's need. So, we need to be safe. Therefore, ginawa tong artwork na to. Okay, so what about this one? Ito, makikita natin. Ballpen. Ano ba yung use ng ballpen? Yan, ganito, ballpen. Ano bang use niya? Panulat. Syempre. Pero bakit kailangan nating lagyan pa ng design? Eh, hindi naman kailangan yan kung magsusulat lang naman tayo. Of course, again, aesthetic function. It fulfills its objective to be aesthetically pleasing. So, another example, ayan, makikita natin, bahay. Kung ang gusto lang naman natin ay bahay that would shelter us kapag tag-ulan or kapag mainit, okay lang naman na pwede na yun, yung bahay, ganyan lang, semento lang. Pero bakit natin pinapaganda? Of course, again, for aesthetic purposes. So next we have cultural function. To make it short, again, when we say cultural function, some artworks have this function wherein they uphold the cultural value of the artwork or the culture kung saan sila na-produce. Halimbawa, sa atin sa Pilipinas, may mga artwork tayo na pinipreserve simply because it shows our culture, our customs, our traditions as Filipinos. Example, yung mga sayaw natin. Bakit ba tinuturo sa PE yung mga sayaw? Kasi ito, mahalaga 'to kasi parte 'to ng kultura natin, ng pagkatao natin. So, it's really important for us to actually learn how to properly dance these and how to do these artworks or art forms, dance, kasi nga it upholds our culture. What else? Manunggul jar. So, ito, isa 'to sa mga iniingatan din ng mga artifact na meron tayo. So, this one is made by our ancestors. So, it upholds our culture, therefore having cultural function. Ito rin, yung mga damit natin. Ito, physical function. Kasi nga, damit. So, fulfilling man's needs. Pero aside from having physical function, meron din silang cultural function. Kasi these entail our identity as Filipinos. So, again, it has cultural function. What about political function? Political function is, of course, artworks that were made for a specific political agenda, for a politician, for a political campaign, everything that is related to politics. So, artworks could also have this kind of function. So, political function. Religious function naman, of course, form of art which evolved from religion or artworks which are made in order to be used for or in religious activities. So, ginagamit siya sa mga rituals, sa mga ceremonies, sa pagsisimba. So, yun ay kasama din sa religious function. And lastly, economic function. Sorry, hindi masyadong makita. Pero ang ibig sabihin ng economic function, it only shows that artworks are also consumable for the masses. Therefore, artworks could be used as a means for the artist to have economic gain. So, ibig sabihin, pinagkakakitaan din yung artworks. At yung artworks, pwede itong pagmulan ng kita ng artist. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, art is somewhat convertible to currency. So, ayan. Medyo hindi nakita si Taylor Swift. Pero, ayun. So, halimbawa ito, political campaign, which is Go Green. So, eco-friendly. So, this is an artwork. Syempre, poster. This is an artwork showing a political agenda or political campaign. What else? This one is an example of religious what do you call this? Hindi ko alam kung anong tawag dito eh, pero sa Catholic 'to eh, yung parang altar, so para siyang altar. So, eto ay example ng isang artwork containing or having religious function. And of course, Taylor Swift, as you all know, Taylor Swift medyo malaki na yung kita ni Taylor Swift dahil nga marami na siyang awards na nakukuha. So, ibig sabihin, yung craft niya, yung artwork na ginagawa niya, in her case, music, ito, pinagkakakitaan din niya 'to, okay? So, hindi naman siya yung gawa lang naggawa ng artwork. Kumbaga, artwork also or artworks also provide something for her. So, in a form of currency and influence. So, halimbawa, yung mga YouTubers na kilala natin, kasi yung vlog nila is also an artwork kasi nga, yun ay recorded. So, makikita natin yung mga artwork na pinoproduce nila, which are their vlogs, nakakakuha din sila ng merit or ng profit mula doon. So, again, meron siyang economic function. So, question, can art have multiple functions? So, ito, nasabi ko na kanina, yes. Artworks can have multiple functions, but it depends on their main objective as to why they were created. So, in the first place, you have a main objective kung bakit mo gagawin yung artwork na yon. So, that would dictate kung ano yung kanilang function. Okay? Pero pwede sila magkaroon ng multiple function. Pero syempre, yung main function nila, yung dahilan kung bakit sila nagawa. So let's have an example to contextualize how does this happen. For an example, a politician created a commercial featuring social issues like poverty and corruption during his campaign. In his commercial, he vowed to eliminate these issues in the society. So we have a situation. So, merong politician, gumawa siya ngayon ng commercial niya na pinapakita niya yung mga social issues, kahirapan, korupsyon, ganyan. Para, para boost yung kanyang popularity. So, in this case, the commercial had a social function to it because it shows social issues. But what is the main function? The main function is political function. Kasi bakit ba siya gumawa ng commercial na yun in the first place? Of course, to boost his popularity. Okay, so again, going back, how can we judge the the main function of an artwork? You have to go back to the main objective as to why it was created. Okay? So next, we are going to move on to the philosophical perspectives on art. So let's have the first one, art as an imitation. So this one is from Plato. So according to him, artists are just imitators because art is just an imitation. So paano nangyari yon? So according to Plato kasi, things in this world are only copies of the one which is real. Ano ba sa kanya yung reality? Okay. So, ayan, parehas sila ni Socrates ng claim nila na art is just imitation of imitation. So that, para maintindihan natin, mas maintindihan natin, step forward na tayo dun sa paglalarawan niya. We have idealism. So, as a school of thought, according to both Socrates and Plato. So, they believe that the ultimate reality is ideal. Okay? So for them, the idea of the chair, this is the ideal form or ideal reality. So you have the idea of the chair which exists only on your mind. Now, when you create a chair, in reality, gumawa talaga kayo ng upuan habang ini-imagine nyo yung itsura ng upuan sa utak ninyo. According to Plato, yung ginawa nyong chair, itong real chair, yung real chair, yung ginawa niyong upuan, this is only an imitation of your real concept, ideal concept. Okay? So, kumbaga, ginaya mo lang kung ano yung nasa isip mo. Pero yung ginawa mong upuan, hindi siya yung totoong nasa isip mo. Kasi ang totoo, nasa isip mo lang siya. Now, if you create an artwork, so, gumawa ka ng artwork, dinrawing mo ngayon yung chair. Okay, so that would make your artwork an imitation of an imitation because the real chair is only an imitation of the ideal reality. So, yung ginaya mo, so yung artwork mo, ginaya mo yung upuan, yung upuan illusion lang siya. So, kumbaga, imitation of an imitation. Ito yung real chair, ito yung idea. Okay, so medyo magulo si Plato at saka si Socrates. But for this one, you could read on your own. Kung gusto niyo pang malaman yon, maraming mga video sa YouTube na pwede niyong panoorin. But as far as we are concerned, they view that art is only an imitation of reality, or art is twice removed from reality. What about Aristotle? So Aristotle is Plato's student, but he begs to differ in terms of belief. So according to him, art is a representation. So kung para kay Plato at kay Socrates, art is an imitation. For Aristotle, art is a representation. He believes that art is the best representation or the closest representation of reality. Kasi according to him, reality is something that we can perceive with our five senses. Okay? So, kumbaga, kapag nagkaroon ka ng artwork, kapag dinrawing mo, yung nakikita mo, ito ay representation ng reality. Kasi what you see is real. What you perceive by your senses is real. That's why he believes that art is a representation of reality. It is the closest representation of reality. Therefore, Aristotle believes that art is a representation. What about Immanuel Kant? According to Immanuel Kant, art as a disinterested judgment. So, disinterested is different from uninterested. Kasi when we say uninterested, you don't really care at all. Wala kang pakialam doon. You are totally apathetic toward the topic. Okay? So, wala kang pakialam doon. But when we say disinterested, we are trying to be as objective as possible. So according to him, art is innately autonomous from specific personal reasons. Okay? So we have to set aside subjectivity when we are judging art. In order to fully understand and to judge art, we have to see the innate beauty of artworks, because he said beauty is inherent in a work of art. Okay, so how would we apply this in judgment? Now, halimbawa, pumunta kayo sa isang artwork or sa isang art exhibit. Tapos, gusto nyo bumili ng isang painting. Tapos, nakita nyo yung isang painting, yung talagang nakagrab ng attention nyo. Gandang-ganda kayo dun sa painting na yon. Ngayon, gusto nyo bilhin. Tapos, nung tinanong nyo, sino po ba yung artist nito? Nalaman mo na ito yung kaaway mo dati. Tapos, pagkatapos mong nalaman na yung gumawa ng artwork na yun ay yung kaaway mo dati, ang tingin mo na dun sa artwork na yan, pangit-pangit naman ang artwork na yan, hindi ko yan bibilhin, ang pangit-pangit ng artwork na yan. When in fact, nagandahan ka naman talaga. It's just that your judgment was clouded by your subjective feelings. Yun yung sinasabi ni Immanuel Kant, na if you have any personal issues with art, you have to set that aside for you to judge the inherent beauty of art. So you have to be disinterested, not uninterested, rather disinterested. So in order to come up with an objective conclusion, in order to have an objective judgment, you have to set aside your personal and subjective reasons. Yun yung ibig niya sabihin sa art as a disinterested judgment. So again, that is from Immanuel Kant. Now, we have the last one, philosophical perspective in art. So we have Leo Tolstoy's Art as a Communication of Emotion. So the title is pretty much self-explanatory. So to further emphasize, it says art plays a huge role in communication to its audience, emotions that the artist previously experienced. So, sinasabi lang niya na artworks has this way of connecting the experiences of the artist to the viewers. Halimbawa, tayo ay manonood ng isang pelikula, it would tell us what could be the feelings of the director or what could be the feelings of the filmmakers. What else? Music. This is more apparent in music. So, closest example na naiisip ko ay Ben and Ben. So, yung Ben and Ben, yung ginagawa nila ng mga tugtog, ito yung parang kumbaga na-experience nila in their own experience or nababasa nila sa comment section. So, ibig sabihin, yung experience nila, nalalaman natin through their songs. Ito yung example natin ng art as a communication of emotion. So, what else? It also emphasizes the social dimension for art. So, ano yung tinatawag natin na social dimension for art? This only means that art serves as a mechanism of cohesion for everyone. So, it means that art binds together people. It has the power to bind together people. That's why, kapag halimbawa, meron tayong mga revolution, rally, ganyan, madalas na gumagawa ng parang sign or symbol. Gumagawa ng artwork to bind all people. Say for example, sa Hunger Games, kung napanood niyo na yung pelikula na Hunger Games. Sa Hunger Games, makikita natin, nung nag-rebel sila or nagkaroon sila ng revolution against the Capitol, against President Snow, ang ginawa nila, gumawa sila ng symbol. Gumawa sila ng artwork to represent yung pinaglalaban nila, which is the Mockingjay. So makikita natin, art has the power to unite everyone. So yun yung sinasabi ni Leo Tolstoy na art as a communication of emotion. It either communicates the feeling of the creator to the audience or the viewer, or it can bind people together. So yun yung sinasabi niya na art as a communication of emotion. So this ends the whole Unit 1. So we have finished all 3 lessons. So this would be the last presentation for Unit 1. Now, I have scheduled a quiz on Canvas. You're going to take that quiz on Thursday, 5:30 PM to 8:30 PM. Okay, so magno-notify yung Canvas sa inyo. And then ibibigay ko na lang sa inyo yung code para ma-access niyo yung quiz. So, nandun naman, kompleto naman yung mga instructions doon. Just be very careful in answering. So, halimbawa, ang 2 words yung yung sagot, 2 words yung sagot. Nalilito ako. 2 words yung sagot. So, kung halimbawa nagawa nyo na capital letter yung unang word, make sure na yung second word ay capital letter din yung umpisa niya, yung unahan niya. But make sure that you would write not in all caps. So, lowercase letters lang yung pagsagot natin. Pero kung na-capitalize nyo nga yung unang letter ng first word, you also capitalize the first letter of the second word. Okay? So, if you have any questions, you could also send me a message on Facebook, or you could also comment on a post sa group natin, sa FB group natin regarding the quiz. But again, the quiz would be about lesson 1. You could review this video or all 3 videos. You could also review your module just to be sure. And then your quiz would be scheduled from 5:30 to 8:30 PM on Thursday this week. Okay, so thank you so much for watching these 3 videos. I would try my best to record the videos for other lessons as well para yung mga kaklase nyo na mahina yung signal, makapanood pa rin sila if it's convenient with them. Okay, thank you so much, everybody.